Hi and welcome to the Studio Marco Primeau. Last week, my friend and I, Vatche from Recordingstudio9 YouTube channel, invited you to a mix exercise. So this video is about my first stage of the mixing, which is preparation of the project and the first basic levels. If you want to participate to this mix exercise, you're welcome. All the details are in the description. You download the raw files, you use any DAW, any plugins. Creativity is welcome, so you do anything to those tracks, and you send me a link to your mix via the contact form on my website below, and a link to your OneDrive or Google Drive, any places I can download without any password, and then we will compare Vatche's version of the mix and mine, and of course yours as well. The idea is not to win any prize, just to have fun and learn. So this is my first video, preparation and first levels. So before we begin to mix, we need to prepare the project. So the first thing that I would do is check the files that are offered to me to mix, if they need work or not. So we're going to go to the folder where I downloaded the files and check. So here are the 19 files, each representing a track, and they already have been numbered. If it was not done, that's the first thing that I would do. I would put some numbers before each track to determine the order that they will be imported in your DAW. So kick, snare up, snare down, hi-hat, toms, overhead, room, bass, electric guitars, lead vocal, back vocal. You can change this order if you like to have the hi-hat at the end of the drums. It's a matter of preference. It's you that is the boss, so you need to set up so it is easy for you to mix. So for me right now, this is okay. I would create now a project in my DAW. I'm using Samplitude, but this applies to any DAW. So I'm going to open Samplitude and create a new project. And I'm going to leave it like this for now. You have to make a choice if you want to mix at the original bitrate. You can check what kind of file it is. If I load this track, which is the bass drum, so this means that this file is 44.1 kilohertz. I could create a new project with that bit rate, or I can create my project at 96 kilohertz and convert the files when they are imported. Some says that it makes no difference. Some will say that the effects at which you will apply on the tracks will work at higher bit rates, and so the sound will be better. That's what I'm going to do. I'm used to record at 96 kilohertz, so I don't want to reset up my interface and change all my outboard gear to go down to 44 kilohertz. So I'm going to import and convert the files. So if I go back, and I'm going to create at 96 kilohertz. Okay. Of course, we have 19 tracks, so we need to add some. Right click on where you want the tracks to be added, and then insert new tracks, several tracks. We already have 2, so we are going to add 17. like this. And they are just numbered for now, and we can put some names on each track afterward. Before we import the files, we're going to change the speed of the project to 110. This was explained in files within the download. If we want to sync a delay, it will be easier. So first way to import tracks. Now you can see here that is seconds that we see. So we can change that for bars like this. So measures 1, 2, 3, etc. All right. Make sure you select the first track, then File, Import, Load Audio File. Click on the first one to select it. Scroll down to the last one. Hold Shift and click. So it selects all the tracks. And click on Open. So here it asks, what do I do with the files? The important thing is to load the files on different tracks, one below the other. So I'm going to click OK. And after that, it will ask for the format. You see it's 44.1 and the VIP, the project itself, is 96. So I'm going to convert the files offline resampling. I could do it without changing the files and make a resampling. But now I'm going to convert them. It's going to take less CPU afterward. And I'm going to click here. Don't show this message for this project. All right. So the first thing that I like to do is rename all my tracks. And you can have your own code. For me, bass drum or kick is BD for bass drum. All right. After that, if you want to make it easy for you, that's what I do. I color code all the tracks. Choose a blue. Whatever the color, I like them to have some contrast between the type of tracks. So I'm going to put a yellow. Then all the electric guitars can be green. And then the lead vocal could be red. And the backs could be a darker red, like this. So visually, it's going to be easier to mix. There's a lot of electric guitars, so I would tend to listen to them and decide if the naming have a problem or if I should change the order or something like that. So we're going to listen to this first guitar track, which is a stereo track. So this seems to be a double track, and both are the DIs. And if we choose the other, like this, those are again double tracks. Either two different microphones or they've been played twice, the same part. That's what I think, because the levels are not synced on both tracks. And what do we have after that? The third guitar. So what they did is the amped sound and then the DI, the amp sound and then the DI, and so on. So that's a good thing. What I'm going to do for now is lower the volume of every DI track. This, oh, I can pull up the mixer. So the DI, 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 DI. So it's a bit cleaner like that. And I can know right now that what I'm going to do with the double track guitar is pan them left and right. But we're going to start with the drums. I'm going to mute everything. And unmute and put the levels as I go. You can start with the drums, or you can start with the vocal. It just depends on how you want to mix, what are your priorities. So to me, I'm a drummer, so I start with the drums. When the drums sound good, then I can move on and just forget about it. So I'm gonna start with that. So let's choose a place where there's some drums. I'm gonna make a loop. Maybe from there, loop, that's good. All right, it's a good thing that they did put some DIs there, because the second track of guitars and its double sounds very harsh to me. I'm gonna solo them and show you. And I think it takes too much space and hides the electric guitar one, so they will be hard to blend together. And I'm not sure it adds anything to the song for now. I'm gonna listen to the DIs. Yeah, I think they add more without some distortion, so I'm gonna reamp them with a classic amp a bit later, and I'm gonna just lower the volume for now. Now I'm gonna enter the lead vocal and the backs to see how they sound with all this.
How I got to Memphis. I know if you'd see, tell me, 'cause you are my friend. I gotta find her and find out what trouble she's in.
The track by itself seems to be a bit low in gain for the lead vocal. So I can push the fader here, but of course I would be at maximum very soon. So what I'm gonna do is higher the gain of the track. Let's try that.
I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis. I know if you've seen her, tell me, 'cause you are my friend. I gotta find her and find out what trouble she's in. So if you tell me that she isn't here, I'll follow the trail of her tears. That's how I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis.
All right, if I listen to the mix as it is, there's some things that needs some EQ work, like the lead vocal, which sounds a bit, it sounds a bit like that. The drums are pretty nice. I did pan the hi-hat a bit too far. Listen to it.
I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis.
Of course, we hear a lot of drum tracks being mixed very wide. I tend to avoid this because it is not natural to the drummer itself being behind the kit, or you being in the audience, to hear the hi-hat at one end of the stage and the ride at the other end of the stage. So that's not natural to me. So I'm gonna pan it a bit less. And one thing is the room, the overhead, they are already stereo, so I can't pan anything in this. And the toms are on one track also, so I need to leave them like it is. So I'm gonna unpan the hi-hat a tiny bit.
I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis. I know if you've seen her, tell me 'cause you are my friend.
So you hear it, it's out of the way, not in the middle, but not so far away that it seems to be in another room. I did pan the back vocals. Oh no, I made a mistake. I panned the lead vocal here instead of the back. And since I sent the hi-hat to the right, I'm gonna send the back a bit to the left. So it's gonna be some high frequency content on both sides.
I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis. I know if you've seen her, tell me 'cause you are my friend.
Just a tiny bit so they're not stuck together. Of course, I'm sure they are not singing in the same mic anyway. All right, the last thing that I would do is to create some sub-mix bus. So it will be easier to control, let's say, the whole drum at once. You can go in setup. And I would need 3. Drums. And what I do is I redirect every drum tracks to the drum submix bus. So the output goes to this submix bus. The bass is alone, so it does not make any sense to create a submix bus. And now all the guitars. And vocals. So not only it will be easier to change the level of a whole section, but also to apply some effects to the whole thing instead of going to every tracks. So you save a bit of CPU and resources. One last thing that I can do is to color code the submix bus. So I'm gonna make it the same color as the tracks. Right click, color, blue. So that's my goal for the first video. Identify everything, color code everything, name the tracks, make some basic levels, and try to put everything as if it was on a stage or in a room as a presentation for an audience. After that, we're gonna try to work on the dynamics. The lead vocal has a lot of peaks and some words are barely there, so we're gonna work with a compressor to help this. And after that, EQ the whole thing. Some tracks may not need anything. We're gonna see where we go. So in the next video, I'm gonna do a minimal mix. EQ compressor, and of course I could change some pannings and stuff like that, but I'm not sure I will do that. And I'm gonna prepare another video where I go deeper with some more editing, maybe some tuning on the vocal. We'll see what it needs, So stay tuned. So I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, or any comments of something I did wrong or I could do better, let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to Vatche's YouTube channel, Recordingstudio9, link above. And if you did like the video, please click on the like button, consider subscribing, hit the bell to get notifications, and share my videos. It's always a great help.